All right, what's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Good morning, Jen.
Good morning.
It's brisk this morning.
Yes, it is.
I love it.
Me too.
So today we're going to talk about... Actually, do you want to introduce the episode, Jen?
No, why do you do that to me?
Because it was your idea.
Yes, but you're better at
All right, fine.
doing that stuff.
Today we're going to talk about why you need both retention and new clients coming into your salon. So retention versus acquisition. And I guess a lot of people focus on one or the other because it's easier to do one thing than it is to do two. But the reality is you need both.
Correct.
Yes.
You see, you said it so well.
This was Jen's topic idea, so I just thought she might like to introduce it.
I would have had to rehearse or something. I'm not good.
Rehearse?
I don't know. I had to think of something.
You've never rehearsed anything for this podcast.
Right, but if you wanted me to do an opening, I'd have to think about it a little more.
No, you would have been good. I didn't think about that. I thought you were going to do it.
Oh, well.
All right, anyways, we always start with our opening takes. So opening takes. So excited for this one. Go ahead. What do you got?
Okay. So I saw a quote over the last week and it resonated a lot because I also see often, I talk about this a lot, but hairdressers just passive aggressively posting fairly negative things to clients. Like, if you cancel on me, you're taking money out of my family's mouth. You have to follow my cancellation policy or blah, 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 blah. Lots of things that I just feel like they're forgetting about the customer service and it's all about the client. So when I saw this post, I thought it was just really cool. It's a quote from Vidal Sassoon to remind all of us out there of sort of what else we do that makes this job or industry magical. So the quote is, "Hairdressers are a wonderful breed. You work one-to-one with another human being, and the object is to make them feel so much better and to look at themselves with a twinkle in their eye." And I just thought, it's easy to forget all of, you're making people feel more confident about themselves. You are making someone at the end of the day look at themselves and be like, wow, I look good. And that is such a cool thing to do. So rather than talk to your clients in a way of all these things you don't want them to do, make them feel so amazing about themselves when you do their hair, and none of that other stuff will matter because they'll come in for all their appointments because they want to feel, the word is feel, that amazing when they sit in your chair.
Well done.
Thanks.
Well said. So my quote or my opening take is for the owners out there. And I think when you become an owner, you start looking at things like KPIs and you start tracking retention, you start tracking rebooking, you start tracking retail sales and how utilization, how booked your staff is getting. And you forget one of the most important things that you should be measuring, which is your happiness. And I keep seeing all these people that are like, I can't find renters. And then I found renters and they sucked and they won't do this and no one helps. And my staff won't clean and my staff sits on their phone and my staff won't do this. And I don't even know if I want to continue this anymore. And this sucks. And I never knew being an owner would be this hard. And look, if you're not happy, leave. And I'm not saying that to be a jerk. I'm saying that because I think every human being, except for the really awful ones, there's really awful human beings on the earth, right?
Yeah.
And those guys can suck it. Get out of here. No, I'm joking aside. People deserve to be happy. If you're stressed out constantly because owning a business, you thought it was going to be fun or you thought it was going to be easy and it's not, either double down and learn how to do it or get out. You can get out of it. There's no shame in that. I closed a business. Jen's closed a business. Yes. Sometimes it just businesses run their course. They come to the end of the road, as Boys to Men would say. Right? And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You've learned a ton. Maybe you need a new business. Maybe you need a new focus. Maybe business owning is for you, but the hair industry isn't. Maybe business owning isn't for you, but the hair industry is. I don't know. You have to figure it out. And I don't think going on Facebook groups and being like, I'm so miserable, blah, blah, blah. And you're just looking for other people, or maybe you're not looking, but what I'll say is you're going to find other people that are like, totally been there, or you got this, and none of that stuff's helpful. Or, you have to call this coach because they'll help you. And that stuff's you need to figure out stuff on your own first before you start looking outside. And ask yourself, why are you not happy? Are you not happy because your staff sucks? Okay, why do they suck? You're the leader.
Right.
If they suck, it's your fault. It's not their fault. But when I hired them, they said this and they said that. Cool. Did you hold them accountable to those things? Obviously not. So I think people need to sort of figure your own stuff out and then get out of your own way. You don't have to do this. I think it's an absolute privilege that we live in a country where you can just open a business. I mean, you just can't open it. You had to get it licenses and shit, right? They make it seem like it's free. It's not free. But you have the right to pursue happiness and whatever that means for you. It doesn't mean that you have the right to be successful. It doesn't mean that your business is going to thrive. It doesn't mean that you're not going to lose all your money. What it means is you have the right to pursue happiness. So I think that's what people should focus on first, and not trying to do what everyone else thinks is relevant. That's my opening take.
I like it. I agree completely.
Thanks. So let's talk about this sort of retention and acquisition. Want to start with retention?
Sure.
We just did an episode on retention recently, I think. So we'll start with that.
Yes, I think we did. I think I have just a little bit of maybe a different perspective after seeing some of these posts last week or over the weeks, sort of owners complaining about retention and where the problem.
So we're talking about client retention here?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure. So why does retention matter?
It becomes part of the foundation of your business, right? If your clients stay, you have numbers that actually are real, not just people that come and go through your business. And it helps your stylist get busier. It helps them create an income that they can rely on. And it really supports the business.
Facts. So loyal clients are definitely more profitable for your business than chasing new ones constantly.
Correct.
Don't get it twisted. Both are important. It's a lot easier to retain a client than to gain a new one. And retention does all that stuff, like Jen, what you're saying, the loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
A loyal client is going to grow with you. So as you move through, do price increases or increase whatever you're increasing, those clients are going to tend to stick around. Mm-hmm. They're loyal.
Yes, the clients that are already sitting in your chair have already picked you. Now you just have to wow them or show them why they should pick you again and again and again. Where a new client, they're just out there kind of figuring out what they want to do. But the ones that are in your salon really focus on what their needs are, what brought them in. Todd, you always say, like, what problems can you solve for that client? Talk about next appointments, things that you look for or things that you can offer them for their hair in the future. All of these things will get them thinking about how much they want to be in that salon and how they can't wait to come back to that salon.
Yeah. So I had one more point for why retention matters. And I guess it's a few points, but when you start retaining clients, you're creating consistency, like you said, Jen. So then you have a more consistent paycheck.
Absolutely.
You start creating consistency for them because you get better. You know their hair. You're getting better at their hair. You're constantly learning, hopefully. So you can service them better. You're going to tend to get more referrals for people that are excited for you and excited to be around you. Everybody loves to show off their stylist. Everybody loves to talk about what they love. How many times have you gone on social media and somebody will ask, hey, where's a good place for lunch? And you see like 2,700 comments that are like, this place is the best. No, you have to go here. This place is the best. No, my guy over here is the best. Well, if you want a fun bartender, you have to go over here. They're the best. People want to
celebrate you,
spread the best. And it doesn't matter that it doesn't matter that the fact is you're not the best. There's always going to be someone better than you. But that's irrelevant because you have built-in cheerleaders, which then build your brand. So now you have somebody out there advocating for your brand because they love it and they feel connected to it. And that's the trick there.
I think also if you want to look at retention on the hair pro side, if you can start retaining clients that you enjoy doing their hair, your job becomes way more fun. You will look forward to seeing those people again because now you're getting to know their hair, so you're going to do it better just because now you guys are creating a relationship. That relationship or those relationships really make it so fun to go into your job every day and allow you to be more creative because once you get to know more of like what they're asking for and you can picture it and you form that relationship, the next steps you do just always become better and better. But I mean, I look forward to my clients. Like I want to do their hair, but I also want to catch up with them and it's way fun.
So give some people some stuff they can do to retain clients.
So first off, the consultation is really important. It's something that gets missed, I would say,
That's a big one.
more often than not. So a new client that sits in your chair, if you even just consult, hey, what are you liking about your hair? What don't you like about your hair? When was your last hair visit? You ask them even just a few things, right? Say you narrow it down to 3 questions. That's probably more than they've ever been asked at any other salon. It's just a rare thing. And they'll right from the bat be like, wow, this person actually cares. You can take that consultation even further. But I think if you first think about how do I do this? Customize your consultation. What questions would work for you? If you were sitting in your own chair, what would you want someone to ask you? Then you'll start attracting people that you want to be around. But really come up with a script for your consultation. So every single client gets that consultation. Now, more important, when that client does return, retention, remember, don't say to them, same thing as last time. You have to reconsult. Hey, glad you're back. This is so awesome. Let's talk about your hair. What did you like about it? What didn't? What can I improve on? These same questions have to be every single appointment because if you start doing same as last time, they're not feeling important anymore and they will leave you and they will go somewhere else and they may not get that consultation, but they'll get the surprise and delight of just something new. So it's really important that initial consultation, but that you also have a script for your consultations down the road with that same client so they feel like they're just as important as they were on day one.
I'm so glad you brought that up because that was going to be my follow-up question. Was going to be, let's talk about the second or the third appointment because we've seen it. We see it sometimes in our salon where people just get a little too comfortable and they say, same as last time, or we're just doing a few highlights today. Like that is just language that you shouldn't use because what you're doing is you're creating a situation. If you think of it from the client's view, you're creating a scenario where they're almost feeling rushed now. You don't want to have that conversation, which is why they came back. And now what you're doing is you're making it about just the hair. And let me tell you this, they can get just the hair anywhere else. The hair is the prerequisite. The people out there's so many people out there that can do fantastic, amazing hair. It's the relationship that you build with the person and the trust that's going to create the loyalty. I can't hear you.
Sorry, the hair is expected. If I had it on mute.
I was like, she's talking, but I'm not hearing anything.
Yeah, the hair is expected. So if I book a haircut, I'm expecting to come in and get a haircut. Like, why wouldn't I? That's the service I booked. The relationship, the conversation, the consultation, the tour you give me, the cleanliness of your salon, those are all the things that I would be surprised and delighted about. Like you said, the hair is just, that's what they're coming in for. The relationship, like my clients that have been with me I've been doing hair, I'm in my 26th year, I think, coming into. I have clients that have been with me for 26 years, literally my whole career. Do you think I knew how to cut hair when I first started? I did not. But again, the hair didn't matter. We created relationships. We had great conversations. I've had clients leave and come back now because of my skills, but also it's that relationship. They missed that. Like, hey, how are your kids? What are they doing? Like, that's fun for me. I love to have conversation. So that is something that is in my wheelhouse, I guess. And then on top of that, I now can do really great hair. But in the beginning, my hair skill set was poor. So my communication skill set needed to be a 10 or more, right? And if I could get that up and then work on my skill set, then I could have that perfect kind of relationship happening.
It's putting all the things together. If you realize that, so when you get out of school, you're in your first year of doing hair behind a chair somewhere, you're not as good as you're going to be in 3 to 5 years. That's just a fact. So what can you elevate to increase your retention?
Client experience.
Client experience is a great one. I would aim for hospitality.
Yeah.
learn a little bit about hospitality. Here's a plug. If you get in our newsletter, I will send you, I just published our Hospitality Playbook. It will walk you through scoring your client experience from them booking to them being checked out.
Mm-hmm.
And it will give you a bunch of tips, tricks, pro tips, things that you can upgrade with your service and go beyond what people think is hospitality, which is like offering a water and a snack. That's not hospitality. That's offering somebody a snack. Nothing about that is authentic or different or customized.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Retaining clients, I would take a look at your systems too. Your rebooking at checkout or during the service, which we prefer. Your follow-up, whether that's a text or a newsletter or a blog post or something that goes out to clients so that they know that you're thinking of them. In the Hospitality Playbook, I think I break down how to go about following up with the text with your clients. When's the last time you did that? Everybody wants to confirm the appointment. Nobody wants to follow up after. 0% of people want to go out and text their clients and say, hey, here's a link to that product I was telling you about yesterday. No pressure. And don't forget, I said to turn the brush this way or do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like follow up with them. That's a connection. That's retention. How many other salons are doing that? None. So if you did that, it would set you apart. Personalization. So I use our software constantly for notes. I add in notes all the time. I cut someone's hair and it's this person was in the Marines. They moved here this year. They are married. They don't have kids. They're going to a wedding this weekend, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I add notes so that I can make it about them next time they come in. It takes me 10 seconds.
Right.
And I add notes about their haircut too, so that I don't have to go. Same as last time. I can still run through a consultation with them, but I know because for guys, 99% of the time I get, can you just do what you did last time? I really like that. And I'm like, I don't even remember anything about what we did last time.
True story.
I need to check my notes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've met you one time, 2 times. I didn't even remember your face when you walked in.
But I'm not going to tell you that.
No, of course not. I'm going to make it about them. I'm going to ask them how their kids are doing or how their new puppy. I have a client that is getting a new dog. And I don't remember what client it is, but I remember creating the note a couple weeks ago.
Hey, if
Ask
they
them
need
about
dog
that
food,
new
we
dog
have
they
it.
got. Yeah, that's true. Now I have to figure out who it is because I have a giant bag of dog food to donate. If you remember details about people, think of how that would make you feel.
Special.
When you walk in.
Super special. Like you actually care.
Think about think about other hospitality industries. Think about service industries that rely on hospitality, like a restaurant. How cool is it when you walk into a bar and they know your order? They know your name. How cool is it? Jen and I, we used to go to dinner quite a bit out in Boston, and I worked in the industry down there, so people knew who I was. How cool was it when we walked in and they were like, you're having this Kona crusted sirloin medium is how you like it, right? What sides are you picking? They remembered my order. They remembered how I like my steak cooked.
They gave us seats over the Patriots players.
Yeah, true story. That was a true story.
Yeah. We felt like that anyway. There you are.
Yeah.
It felt like we were famous. It felt like we were important. And when the older you get, you don't always get those feelings. So when someone can make you feel important, like it resonates.
For sure. And if you're a salon owner out there, the next thing I'll say for how to retain clients is to work with your staff. You got to motivate them. You got to make them happy. So when your staff is excited to provide services and take care of people, and they're not just going through the motions, that is going to reflect in your clientele. Mm-hmm. Your clients are going to be happier. Your clients are going to want to come in. Your clients are going to want that vibe, that energy.
Yes.
But you have to build that. Mm-hmm. That's on you.
I think this is where that
goes back to my opening take too, because if you're not happy, your staff's not going to be happy. Your clients aren't going to be happy.
It starts from the
You're
top.
just going to be miserable on a hamster wheel.
Your vibe is definitely going to set the tone, right? But this is what really inspired this topic. And I know we talk about it a lot, but it was coming from a place where I was seeing these owners just complaining, like these newer, like I call them baby hair pros, newer hair pros, they're not retaining. And the reason why they may not be retaining, I'm sure they're retaining some, but at whatever numbers you were expecting them to, is because you're asking them to do all the things. They're coming out of school. You're asking them to have a solid consultation. You're asking them to create a relationship. You're also asking them for their technical skills to be worked on, I would imagine, daily. That's what we do, or weekly. And it's a lot. They're so stressed out that when that client sits in the chair, it's like a deer in headlights. They almost forget everything they're supposed to do. And then as they're at the sink shampooing them for their haircut, they're like, oh my God, I'm going to get in trouble because I didn't consult. I didn't do this. I didn't give a tour. I didn't show them where the bathroom was. But everything just went out the window because they're so overwhelmed. So if you have these new hair pros that aren't doing all of these things for client retention, you may need to make them or have them or help them focus on one thing to start. Like I said, the consultation, and give them a script. Have them start with that. Have that be their main focus of the beginning of the service. Also, walk them through that. Role play with them. I know it sounds silly, but this will help them. Like, hey, a new client, your client walks in, what do you do? And they'll look at you like, what? Like, let's walk through it. And this creates a muscle memory. The more they do it with you, or the more they do it with the other staff in your salon, like if our staff has downtime, I have them work on each other and treat them like a client and go through these roles so that when a real client sits down, they've done it so many times that the repetition gets them stronger and stronger, and they don't miss as much. And I understand in the beginning, there's going to be misses. That's just how it goes. We're growing with them, right? We're coaching them. We're not yelling at them. They're not in trouble. It's just a friendly reminder. Hey, we got to hit these points. Why are we missing them? How do I slow you down? One of our staff members last year, I bought them a rainbow fidget, because I'm like, you are too speedy in your head and I got to get you to slow down. So we put this on her station. So every time she works, she puts it on her station, and it's her reminder to take a breath and slow down. And it's worked very well.
Yeah, people get nervous, so they go into that. We were talking about it this morning with
that flight mode.
Fight or fright,
Yeah.
and they tend to, hairdressers, what are you going to do? Go hide from your client? I mean, a lot of them do during the
Yeah,
process.
true.
Right?
Yeah.
Remember your last salon? People would hide out back and peek through the door. It was like kind of creepy. That's just self-confidence. That's just somebody that lacks confidence in themselves and their ability, and that's okay. But it's your responsibility as the leader to figure out ways to build their confidence. And I keep calling them nudges, but they should be these tiny little things, because anything else can be overwhelming. You don't have to create this thing where you're coming in with balloons and confetti and stuff and you're going crazy and, oh my God, you had the best day. Yeah, girl. No, don't do that. That's overwhelming too. You're just creating a situation now where they think they're the best.
Right. And they have a
And
lot
that's
of work
not
to do.
helpful to anybody. Yeah, you've got to do these little tiny steps and improve on them. It's the 1% rule, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you increase by 1%, where will you be at the end of the week, the end of the month, the end of the year?
Also, if you
You'll
want
be so much further along.
Totally. And if you want them to be a professional, you treat them like a professional. No offense to those that do the balloons and the confetti, but you're treating them like a kindergartner. So if you expect them
Right.
to show up as this professional, mature adult, then, I mean, that doesn't really correlate, right? So maybe you celebrate things, but in a way that's more professional and mature.
Yeah, I agree.
Again, not knocking. You do you, but that's just my opinion.
Oh, always. That's always been our stance. I think people. So if you're new here listening, thanks. Welcome. You do you. This is just what works for us in our salon. So why does acquisition matter? Let's jump into acquisition. Okay. I think that there's going to be churn naturally, right? Clients move, budgets change, people lose jobs, people have life changes, people have kids. You become not as important. When you're in your 20s and 30s, it's really easy to get to the hairstylist. It's really easy to go to the barber. As you get a little bit older, if you choose to have kids and a family and responsibilities and maybe your own business and all these things going on, getting your haircut is not really always the priority for people. We go through different phases of our lives. So we're going to want to acquire clients. Also, we want to combat plateaus. Plateaus equal complacency. If you're hitting plateaus, it's because you were complacent somewhere and you didn't maintain forward progress. We talk about that all the time as well. You have to be making forward progress. You have to actively be in pursuit of something. And that's why we say make these little things for people. It's easy to look at a year goal and be like, I want to have 100 clients and a $350 haircut. Cool. There's a lot of steps in between,
Right.
though, where you are now and where that is. So, what do those little steps look like? And let's be realistic with people. I think if you do this, sort of the approach we take, you build people a lot faster than trying to do everything at once,
Mm-hmm.
or by holding them back for 10 years as an assistant.
Mm-hmm. And it creates consistency too, which is extremely important, right? If you're making, like you said, little nudges, then you're constantly working on your business. You're constantly doing these things, which all of that, it just snowballs on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
You do something big and then you
So,
don't do anything ever again, right? That's not going to work.
right. Yeah, no, not at all. So, we talked about why acquisition matters. How do we acquire new clients? How do we get new clients? What are some ways that we can do?
Well, we
What are
use
some ways that we can do? What an awful sentence.
didn't even phase me. I was ready to answer you. A couple of the things that we do, we use our software and they put out email blasts and text blasts if a client hasn't come in a certain amount of time, just to remind them there's openings in the schedule. And that seems to be works really well for us. It's actually, that's how I got back an old client I hadn't seen in a few years. She kept getting emails saying like, Jen has openings, Jen has openings. And finally she was just like, I need to go see Jen again. So that program in itself does everything we
When in
need.
fact, that's kind of funny because you were like, where am I going to put this
which I
person
don't
now?
really, so
Don't really have openings, but thanks, software.
so true story.
That's an AI thing that we've
Yes.
used since we've opened. That is, it just combs our software and it looks, and it's like, Steven is usually in every 6 weeks, but he hasn't been in. How come? And then it will text him or email,
Mhm.
whatever his preference is. And it'll say, hey, Jen or whoever has an opening. We'd love to see you. We haven't seen you. What's going on? Book an appointment. And it's just like a little reminder.
Also, with that, we share that with our staff. I actually was just talking to Gianna, who works for us, the other day because she was talking about a new client. And she's like, I forgot to give her my business card. I just like to do that as a touch point. And so I reminded Gianna, I'm like, we use this program. Don't forget, it's going to reach out. It's going to say, it'll actually ask her if she wants to leave a review for you internally. Plus, then if she doesn't rebook, which she didn't, but she said she would call, in this amount of time, it's going to reach out to her that you have openings and it's going to seem like it's from you and this. And she's like, oh, I forgot about that. Oh, okay. I'm like, so we're always working with you, Gianna, to make sure these touch points are done with your clients. So it's important also to explain that to your staff of the things that you have going on for marketing. At least in my opinion, I think it's very important because it's easy to ask your staff to do all this stuff with social media, but what are you doing to help that grow for them also? So we're always reminding our staff of the things that we do behind the scenes so that they understand the marketing that goes into us always getting new clients that help build their books. Oh,
What if you teach them too much and they leave?
So actually, I will say this. If you do the things we do for marketing and always have new clients in, it is way less salty when someone leaves because you understand that you're not focused just on that one staff member and you have so many new clients coming in, you're going to build someone else. And let's just be honest, in this industry, people come and go. The quicker you can move on from that and realize that's part of doing business, the better off you will be leading your business.
Yeah, I don't know any industry that doesn't have turnover.
It's
Now,
just
there are places like you'll find, restaurants that are like, we've been here in our family for 150 years since we moved over from Sicily or whatever. And that's amazing, right? But you generally, like, that's super rare. And even what we have is kind of
we have
crazy.
people
We have
going on
people
5 years.
from when we
Oh,
opened.
yeah, 6,
And,
actually, yeah.
and we're at your last salon
Mhm. Yeah, so they've been with
as
me a
well.
long
So it's,
time.
yeah. So, but that is more rare.
Mhm.
And that is about not what we're talking about today. Maybe we can do an episode on that coming up soon.
Mhm.
But yeah, anyways, let's get back to what we were
Marketing.
talking about,
Yeah,
how people can acquire new
you can probably
clients.
talk more to this, but this was a idea Todd had to sell me on because it was a bit on the expensive side for us at the time, or a financially a big undertaking. And that was hiring someone to do the optimization for the website, our SEO, Google ads, things like that. And when I say that stuff like Google ads, that actually market to where we want it to be, not just random Google ads that you turn on and turn off. So really to help us be the best Google friendly we could be, we had to hire a company to do that. And then we pay for that company still with our Google ads. And that has shown to be, I would say, the best thing we've done.
That's the number one driver for business
Mhm.
at our salon.
It's
Yeah. So
amazing.
when we meet people, a lot of times people will say, Do you get a lot of walk-ins? Because they're getting out of hair school and they were taught that you need a lot of walk-ins, but we don't really get walk-ins. We get people that call last minute.
Mhm.
We get last minute emails. We don't get a lot of like foot traffic. And so we're in a building with a big gym too. So when people are coming in, they're coming in for the gym.
Mhm.
So we're not going to get that. And sometimes people stop in and they're like, hey, I want to come check your place out or whatever. I'll come back after my class. And sometimes, like last week, right, that takes 2 or 3 times for them to stop
Right.
in
Mhm.
before they're ready to book an
Mhm.
appointment. They'll come in and just chat with us or whatever. And that's totally cool. But yeah, so I was doing the website, SEO, Google Ads, and I discovered really quickly early on that I was just wasting time and money because I had really no clue. And I know a lot of people out there are like, it's so easy, you can do it yourself. That's great. I wanted to focus on building a business and not focus on just the marketing. So what we did was like Jen said, we hired somebody to take care of that stuff. And within, I don't know, 6 months,
Yeah.
maybe something like that, we noticed an uptick and now it's constant.
Mhm.
So we are constantly having new clients every single day. And that's important.
It truly,
So
as an owner, I will say, once I started seeing, like, I'd go into the week and I'm like, wow, we're really slow on this day and that day. But then before I know it, the night before, the next morning, I would check our schedule to see, like, what's coming in today and whatever. And I'm like, wow, we just got 4 new people that booked online, right? And I started seeing that. And so now I look at a day that looks a little slow, and the stress that I used to carry is gone because I know the marketing that we do and the investments we're making in that is going to drive business into our salon. I see it all the time. Someone can even I could go into next Saturday and say someone's pretty slow. I know it's going to be full by the time we get there, in the sense of then we're turning people away, which is a good problem to have also. But that marketing really gave me a breath of fresh air to focus my attention on other things when it was just focused on worrying, which was getting us no clients and was not good for my health.
right,
So it was the best thing we have ever done.
correct. And there will be future iterations of that
Mhm.
that I've been working on behind the scenes, researching and stuff. Because if we don't change it, eventually we'll need to change it and we'll
Mhm.
be behind.
Yep.
So you have to constantly stay on top of it. And I love it. And it, like Jen said, it's not uncommon that like you'll have 4 new clients in a day, like super common, right? And even more. And I want to keep that going. So
Yes.
we've got to figure out what's the next step
Mhm.
for marketing, which I already have, but I'm not ready to share.
Okay.
Anyways, social media. Social media is a great way to get new clients. It's free. You don't have to throw money at it. You can. It goes up and down as far as your exposure and how many people see your stuff. But if you use it sort of as a living document, sort of showing off your work, showing off your personality, showing off what you can do for people, pay attention to that last one because that's the biggest.
Mhm.
I would stay away from, I'll give you my quick social media, what's worked for us. I would stay away from taking a picture of the back of someone's head and putting an arbitrary caption on it because it's not going to do anything for you. Why? Because everybody else in the industry does that too. So it's very saturated. The hair industry saturated its own social media with the back of a head and a stupid caption. And what I want you to do instead, and what we've done, is we focus on the client, what problems we solve for them, and their happiness.
Mhm.
So we tend to only share pictures of people's faces. How can I tell if a person's happy if I'm looking at the back of their
We're
head?
trying to
I
pull
can't.
emotions here, guys. That's what you
Yeah,
want. That's what will get people to stop.
for sure. Social media, I would have fun with it, but I would look at it through the client's eyes. What does a client get for following you? Now it's cool if you have a few thousand followers that, you went to hair school with a bunch of people and they followed you and you followed them, but that's not going to do anything for your marketing. That's not going to bring you new clients. That's just you telling people that already know you do hair that you can do hair. So if you're just doing it for the likes and to feel good, that's a completely separate thing than just do whatever you want.
Mhm.
If you want to acquire new clients, you should do something to pull at some sort of an
Mhm.
emotion.
If you wanna use it as a tool, right? If you're trying to really market to people,
Yes.
then there's a different way you have to play the game, and
Yes.
not trying
Around
to
the
figure
holiday.
out the algorithm. That's not the game we're talking about.
Right. Around the holidays, people are into things like nostalgia. That's what they want to feel. How can you make them feel that? Through your posts. I don't know. Figure it out. That's how I would use social media. Acquiring new clients. So getting out and cross-promoting with other local businesses. There's a ton of businesses that intersect with yours. And you can even talk to ones that don't. Just get out there in your community and talk to people. And build your reputation online. Because people are looking online. I have new clients all the time that come in and I'll say, how did you find us? And they say, Google. And I say, okay, what made you choose us? Because just like a consultation, I don't want to just go, oh, cool, Google, that's working. I'll ask them instead, what made you choose us over the other 750 answers that you got? And 9 times out of 10, they'll say, I saw your reviews. So we have a lot of positive reviews. Getting reviews builds your reputation. Google loves it. I will say, I'll give you a couple things. Don't pay people for reviews or do anything crazy because Google will notice that and that can be a mark against you. But what you want to do is just inspire people enough that they want to share it. Remember what we were talking about in the beginning. People like to share where they're going and what they're excited about. These two things, retention and acquisition, you just have to work on them together. If you focus on one without the other, you're going to have a breakdown somewhere in your system.
Agreed.
If you're only ever bringing new clients in, but you're not focusing on retaining them, it's going to get expensive real quick because you're going to have to constantly, every day, every month, every year, bringing brand new clients. And that's going to stress your staff to the max because they're never going to get any headway. And if you only ever rely on retention, what's going to happen is you're going to post something on your Facebook that's or your Instagram or TikTok or whatever, not accepting new clients. I'm too busy. And guess what's going to happen? Eventually, something's going to break. Someone's going to leave. Someone's going to move, whatever.
And now you need new people to fill those spots.
Yes. And now you need people, but you haven't been working on it. What are some things we can look at real quick? You can look at KPIs. So for retention, you might want to look at rebooking, average visits, client lifetime value. That's a big one. If you start looking at people instead of your $50 haircut and taking food out of people's mouths, like you were talking about, Jen, and you start looking at them as tens of thousands of dollars over the course of their relationship with you, you'll look at them a little differently.
Yeah, look at the lifetime of the client, how long they've been with you, or if they did stay with you, what does that look like, rather than just the one visit?
Exactly. As far as acquisitions, just look at your new clients per month. What about cost per new client? If you're somebody that's just chucking money out, you're like, oh, I pay like an agency to do my social media. Okay. How much does it cost you for a client? Is it effective? What's your return on investment? Those sort of things. And if you don't know, find somebody else. If they can't tell you, fire them and find somebody else. If you run any sort of ads, you should be able to have return on investment. It's just a basic business principle. Acquisition, you could look at your referrals too. And if that's a strong number, then great. There you are. You have anything else to add, Jen?
That was great. Hopefully it helps some people.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, get on our email list, our newsletter list. And that's generally in the show notes. It's always in the show notes, I think. I think I programmed it to always be there. But anyhow, if you get in there, I will send you our Hospitality Playbook.
Awesome.
And you can go through and step your game up there.
Love it.
And if not, that's fine too. I'm just trying to help people. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.